Hello everyone, this is Pooky Codes and welcome back to part 7 of Python full course, and today we're going to build a guess the number game, and we're going also to learn new concepts such as a try except, libraries, and other cool stuff such as the input function. So let's get started. Alright, let's make guess the number. So, what are we going to do? I'm just first going to augment the font size so that you guys can see it clearly. And I start with a blank slate. So what is guess the number? Guess the number is a game where you input a number and then you'll get as output, is it too high, too low, or you got the correct answer. So let's get started. So we're just first going to just set our secret number to, like, let's say a lucky number. So let's say secret number is equal to 43. So this is going to be our secret number, and our goal is to guess this number. And what we're going to do is that we need some kind of way to enter a number in the console. And there is a function for that, and that function is called input. So what I can do is that I can say input, enter your guess. So what does input accepts as parameter? It accepts a string. And this string will be printed before asking you for input. So let's see what this looks like. So you run it, and then you'll see enter your guess, and you can type stuff in. So I think this is a bit weird, so we'll need to just make a new line. So I want to have enter your guess, and then enter it on the new line. So what I can do is that I can put a colon to say enter your guess colon, and then I have to make a new line. So how we do it using Python is not typing a literal enter, but rather you have to use a special character using the backslash. So it's \n. And when we'll do it again, when you run it again, you'll see that now when I type it, it's typed below. So this is awesome. Now what we need to do is that we need to get this number. So I can say guess is equal to this, and I can print using my beautiful left strings guess is of, and the variable value, so guess. So let's run it, and I'll say 23 for example, and guess is of 23. Well, notice that it does not perform any verification, so I can say and you'll see it will still work. So even if you don't input a number, it will still work. For now, we'll just assume that they will always input a number. So our goal now is to compare this number and see if it's greater. So if guess bigger than secret number, then print too high, and if guess is smaller than secret number, print too low. And I can say else, then that means that's equal, then else print you got it. And we can run it, and there's going to be an error, and you'll see why. So enter my guess 23, and I'll say the bigger not supported between instances of string and int. What does this mean? It means that I compared a string, so a sequence of character, with an integer. And why is that? This is because input returns a string. So what I need to do is that I have to convert the string to an integer. So we've seen that we can convert an integer to a string by using the string function, so str. But we can do the same to convert a string to an integer using the int method. So what I can do is that I can just say int of input enter your guess. And so we'll run it again. And then, for example, if I say 23, you'll see guesses of 23 too low. I can rerun it again. I can say 50, guess is of 50 too high. So this is working. And if I put 43, guess is of 43, you got it. So this is awesome. So let's do it again. So 23 too low, 43, and then, well, just 43. So this means that I have 33, and as you can see, I got confused because we still haven't implemented a loop. So what this means is that as soon as you just enter something and enter, then the game is finished, and that's pretty boring because you have to get it in one try. So how do we make sure that we're going to keep running this code until you've got the correct number? We can use a while loop to do that. So I can say that game finishes, so this is going to be a boolean, and I'm going to see is this game finished is false, and I'm going to say while not game finished. Then I have to indent this code, and this is going to keep running until not game finished becomes true. And just a quick clarification, there are boolean operators you can do. So for example, if I say not false, this becomes true, and if I say not true, this becomes false. So it just switches. So this is all about not. So while not game finished, then you can enter your guess. If it's too high, then you have to retry again, too low, and so on. Now, we just need to make sure that when you got it, it's going to stop. So how do we stop the loop? We can either use something called break, the break keyword, and what's this going to do is that it's going to get outside the loop immediately. So if you want to try it, you'll see that it does work. So 23, 50, 25, and then 43. And you got it, and then you see this is the orange cursor, so this is not in the code execution anymore. So it means the code finished running. Like, if you don't believe me, you can say print code finished. And then if you run, we'll see that when you do code finished, it's at 43. You'll see that it's going to print code finished. So this is awesome. Alternatively, we can also do another method. So what we can do is that we're going to say that game finished is true. So this will make it so that not true is going to become false. And then the while loop is going to stop because the statement here is false. So let's run it again. 23 too low, 68 too high, 50 too high, 43, and then you got it. So then this was just a very simple guess the number. So as a bonus, we're going to not use a number that's known by the start. So what we're going to do is that we want to generate a random integer. And how can we do it? Is that we can import a function that somebody else already wrote for us. And you can import it by using from, and then the name of the library, and a library is just some code that other people wrote for you. So from random, it's called random, you can import randint. And then we hope that this is going to work first try. So I can test it from here. So from random, import randint. And if I say randint 0 to 100, then as you can see, this gives me a number. So I'm not sure if it includes the 100, and something that's very nice about any decent code editor is that it's going to have autocomplete. So I can just say randint and then hopefully I should get a hover, which I don't. So we're going to ditch this. So secret number is equal to randint. Randint of what? Randint of from 0 to 100. And you can search for it. So if you don't know what it means, it's always a good thing to search for what it means. So you can say randint generate numbers from 0 to 100, and we should get, let's say this looks okay, generate random integers using randint. And so it says that the random number is within a range, so it includes the start as well as the end. So it's going to include 0 and 100. So what I can do is that I can do 0 to 100 inclusively. Alright. So let's run it. So enter your guess. So I can say, let's say 50. Then this is too high. What about 25? This is too low. So what about, I don't know, 35? This is too low. So let's say 43. This is too high. 40. Too low. So then 42. Too high. So it's 41. And so we got it. So this was very fun. So this is our complete guess the number, and maybe later on we can do some fun stuff with it. So I'm just going to tell you what has not been done in guess the number, and what has not been done is error handling. So let's say I do not enter a number. I enter random garbage, and you'll see it's going to crash. So value error, invalid literal for int with base 10, and this is just an error because when you're trying to convert this to an integer, it absolutely does not make sense. So that's why it's just going to panic, and Python will throw an error. We'll do a really quick explanation of it. So how you handle errors in Python is that you use something called a try except block. So you're going to try to parse you're going to try to take the user's input and transform it into a number, except when it gives me an error. And in that case, I'm going to say enter it again. So what you can do is that you can say try and do all of this, and then if it doesn't work, except what? Except this error. So I'm going to say except value error, and I can now say print please enter a number. So if you run it, let's say I put some garbage, you'll see it says please enter a number, and then we can continue on. So this is very nice. So try except block is that you put try colon, and then you have to indent and you put the code that may throw an error. And when it does produce an error, then you have to make sure that you have except, and then you put the name of the error, and in that code you can run whatever you want. So please enter a number, and then it's going to restart. So this is going to be all for guess the number, and I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And in the next video, we're going to go back to theory, and this time we're going to learn about dictionaries in Python. So stay tuned.